everyone, in this video I want to go over 10 things that I think you should know as a beginner woodworker in the shop. You can call them tricks, you can call them hacks, whatever you want, but just some to get you started. Let's get into it. Tip number one, if you don't have one of these zero clearance plates on your table saw or on your miter saw, that's okay. There is a simple solution. It's these little sticky zero clearance tape. All you do is simply pull off the back of this, lay it right here across your throw plate, and then start your saw and simply cut down. This will give you a nice clean cut on the front and the back, and you don't have to worry about blowout. Super simple trick. I'll link these in the description. They're not expensive at all. Number two, we'll stay on the subject of the miter saw. And the miter saw is another good tool to use in the shop, and sometimes you just need a little more than what it can do. So this is a quick and easy jig you can make. You can use, you don't have to use, I use ambrosia maple here it was a scrap piece, but you can use 2x6, 2x12, whatever you really want, to be honest with you. But this is a great way to be able to get those cuts that could be a little sketchy or even dangerous, trying to cut them some other place and you don't have a fancy jig. My miter saw, I had the Festool Capex. It'll go to 50 degrees one direction and 60 degrees the other direction. But what if I need something that is, I don't know, 85 degrees, 75 degrees? The only other way to make that would be to do either a sketchy cut, like I said, on the table saw, or make you a jig something like this. So all this is simply 45s cut on each side. I just turned the saw to 45, cut one on each side. That way I can do this in either direction. And then I simply leave this one here. Let's say I'm going to cut an angle this way. I can just remove this, get it out of my way. I'm going to get my clamp. I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to clamp it down like so. That way it's nice and secure. So let's just say I needed to make a cut on this at 65 degrees. If I were to put this board up here like so and I were to cut it, this would actually be a 45 degree cut, even though the saw is at 90 degrees, because we're starting with a 45 degree here. So if I need to make a 60 degree or 65 degree cut, I am simply going to move my miter saw to 20 degrees, because 45 and 20 equal 65. So then I would put my board back up here, and then I could make that cut, and then this angle here would actually be my 65 degrees. Same with the other side. I could put it on that side. You just have to add whatever you need to the 45 to get your higher angle, and it's much safer. Simple, easy to make. All I did was glue and tack on a piece of 1/2 inch MDF that went up about 2.5 inches on the back so I can clamp it onto the fence. That's all you need. Super simple. Number three, you ever get your paint cans or your stain cans and every time you try to close them, you get stain or paint everywhere? Paints and stains go, we have one big issue that plagues almost all of us. Once we've poured it out, we usually wind up with a lot of paint or stain around the top of the opening. And you know as well as I do, when you go to put the slid back on and hammer it down, well, you have paint or stain that goes everywhere and it makes a mess. One quick and easy tip is you can just take a screw or an awl or something that's sharp and make you little holes all the way around the top of each of your cans. And that way, when you do have spill out, it will actually drain back in to the can and save you a mess and save your material. Number four, this has to do with gluing boards up. So one of the biggest issues we have with gluing pieces up, especially small pieces like this, is once you put glue on them, you wind up with a slippery mess. I'm not going to worry about spreading this out, but when you go to put these together, it slips and slides everywhere. One thing you can do is go to your kitchen, just get you some good old table salt and sprinkle a little bit across the top and put them together, and you get no squeeze at all. And you can just clamp them right down. No muss, no fuss. Glued up fine. Number five, this is a great trick to use CA glue for. It has many uses. This is one of them. This is a quick and easy method if you don't really want to wait on glue to dry and you don't really have time to necessarily clamp, or you don't have enough smaller clamps when you're doing pieces like this, or larger clamps when you're doing larger pieces. You can simply just glue these as normal. Take some glue, but instead of spreading it all the way across, spread some, leave some gaps, kind of like this, and then dab you a little bit of CA glue in between those, and then you can spray your other piece, and then put those together. Wait just a couple of seconds, and there you go. You actually have the CA glue holding as a clamp until the wood glue dries. Super quick. Number 6. This is for drilling straight holes without any kind of external equipment, such as a drill guide. So I know not everybody has a drill press or a drill guide such as this, and you still need to have the ability to make and drill holes that are straight up and down, especially if you're working with things like threaded inserts and stuff like that. If you have a drill guide, of course you can just attach your drill and hold it, and this actually holds it straight up and down. But if you don't have one of these, you can just simply use your regular drill. You're going to take a little small square such as this. I got this, my buddy Matt, 731 Woodworks, Faith Valley Tools. I'll leave a link in the description. And just simply mark you a line on a scrap piece of wood. That's all you got to do. Just mark me a little line, scrap piece of wood right there, perfectly straight. And now I can line up, if I've marked my hole here, let's just say this is where I needed my hole to be. I can mark that right there, and then all I have to do is place my drill right beside that line, and I can see by referencing that line whether I'm straight up and down or not. I just make sure I keep it on that side of it, and I'll be able to drill a straight up and down hole. Simple trick. These next two are tips that you can use blue tape for. They're great. Number 7. A lot of times when we're making cuts like this and going through the material on the table saw or the miter saw, especially if we do not have a zero clearance plate, we will get tear out on the bottom side here. Easy way to remedy that tear out is to figure out close to where you're going to be cutting, get you some blue tape, put it on, and then make your measurements, make your mark on the blue tape, or just line up your fence to where you're going to be cutting, whichever way works for what you're doing there. And then just simply run right through the cut, and as you can see, that tape will keep there from being any tear out on the bottom. Just look how nice and clean this cut is on the bottom of this piece. Number 8, using blue tape again. I don't know about anybody else. I know for me, when I'm trying to figure out the distance here, if I'm wanting to mount something like this battery charger to the wall or to, anything, you've got to like guess or either try to measure from center to center or something like that, when really all you need to do is take you a piece of blue tape, take it and lay it straight over where you're at, and you can kind of push down and you will get little indentions here of exactly where you're going for, and whatever screw it is you were going to use, you can take, poke the center, and then let's just say this piece of wood here was where you were going to be mounting it. You simply put it down straight, and there you go. There's your points where you would actually screw in your screws and you'd have perfect alignment. Super simple trick. Number 9. This has to do with your tape measure. A lot of the times with our tape measures, it gets real frustrating having to take it off, clip it back on, take it off, use it, clip it back on, but you don't ever have to take it off. This is a simple and easy solution. Leave it attached. All you have to do is pull it out, use it, and then just let it go. And it goes right back to where it was supposed to be. You don't even have to take it off. Super easy shop hack. And finally, number 10. This is about your saw blades. I know every one of us have cut something with our table saw, with our miter saw, and we get these burn marks, and we just automatically assume that our blade is bad, and we go off and we spend another 50, 60, 80, hundreds of dollars on a new blade, when the case might just be that your blade simply needs to be cleaned. So This is a wise investment. I'll leave a link to this in the description. Microjig is awesome. Y'all hopefully heard of them before. This comes from them, and this is an amazing thing to use not only for your saw blades, but also for router bits as well. It has a little compartment here. Well, as a matter of fact, looky there. I've actually got a router bit I'm cleaning now, and it actually looks really, really good. It's got a little compartment there. You can use whatever cleaner you would like. I actually use a green cleaner. And all you do is make a mess, like me. Pull your lid off, and you have a nice little area. You just fill this up. You just simply take your blade, put it down in here. It's got a nice, comes with a nice little magnetic piece where you can actually take your blade in and out. It comes with a brush, and all you have to do is just, you can brush all your teeth there. It's always good to brush your teeth. Or you can take this and run it around on the inside. It's actually got some nice little Brillo pad in here to where you can actually clean your saw blade, and you may not have to replace it as often as you might think. Super, super easy, quick, fast, and really not that expensive. I hope you got some value out of those little tips and tricks. I'll leave a link to everything down in the description, including our Patreon. I do behind the scenes stuff over there, so come join us. We have a lot of fun, and we'll see you next time.